Stay tuned for another episode of the Coming Soon podcast with Spider.
Hello, everybody. Spider here once again. Coming Soon podcast, San Antonio, Texas, with my guest all the way out there in New Hampshire, my man, Mr. Sinister. I like that. James, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm good tonight. How you guys doing despite over there?
Man, it's not bad. Our weather's finally changing. For the most part, we're not in the hundreds, so we're like in the 80s now, which is like winter for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. But I mean, now that you bring that up, man, how is the weather for you guys out there?
It changes day by day. Right now it's like 60 degrees. Tomorrow's going to be about around 70, and then next week we're getting snow. So just depends.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to be getting a cold front, but they've been saying that for like 3 weeks already, so we'll see. But yeah, man. But of course, I mean, I have you guys on here, man. When it comes to what you guys are doing, which is the business, of course. I mean, you guys landed on coffee, man. I mean, it is something that we all love. Personally, from my own personal, I mean, I love coffee. But what was it about coffee that you guys decided on that, or did you guys have something else in mind?
No, actually, it was kind of a love of two worlds. Lady Gruesome, Jenny, my wife, and a partner. She grew up in Salem, Mass, and she ended up owning 3 haunted attractions there. And so she grew up with the horror side of things. And I was in the Army for 10 years, and you get that instant coffee in your field kit, and your MRE. And I had so many cups of bad coffee that I decided I wanted to try it myself. We were spending probably $300 or $400 a month getting coffee out for ourselves while we were here.
Wow, dude.
And I was like, it's got to be a better way, and it's got to be better flavor. And so I actually started in the kitchen with a cast iron skillet and green beans, and just learning how to roast it myself. And then we found another company that allows us to rent roasting space from them when they're not active.
Oh, nice.
And we actually just celebrated our first year, and we just bought our first roaster.
So nice, man. Well, congratulations, guys.
Thanks.
Bro. And I mean, of course, I mean, when it comes to the name, because I'm going to put the logo up there real quick, but Sinister Brew Coffee, I mean, who came up with that name, and what does it represent?
So Sinister actually has taken on a few iterations. First, it was Sinister Earth. We were into traveling around. We were going to collect some soil from different haunted locations, and we were going to, offer little vials of haunted soil. And with both of us working at the post office, it was especially this time of year, we were doing like 90 hours a week, and driving was just, more of a chore than anything. So we decided on doing something a little bit more, at home, when we had the time to do it. And, we both, like I said, we both love coffee, and we just decided to stick with that. And Sinister was the way to go. And obviously we have a love of Halloween. We have a love of like the spooky season. And we just kind of want to have that all year round. Even during this time of year when we put up our Christmas tree, we have a skeleton and a Santa hat holding up the Christmas tree for us.
Oh, so, nice. Yeah. No, I agree, man. I mean, I know everybody, when they came to like Halloween time, everybody got excited, man. But I'm like that every year, like all year. I love horror. I mean, wake up watching it. I mean, it's like I tell people, no matter how many movies I watch in a week, I'm still behind like a couple of years. There's so much stuff out there, but it's what makes it fun. It's like every week I'm diving into like all things shark related. And next week it's like Bigfoot. And I'm just going down the rabbit holes. I mean, some good, some not so good, but I still watch them.
There's a huge community for it. I mean, a lot of people don't realize, but once we got into it and we started interacting with the horror community on social media, I mean, we had it around, in our when we were in Salem and things like that. But online, I was actually Jenny not so much, but I was taken aback by how big the community was and how open arms they were with everybody that comes in. No matter if you're a super fan or you're just dabbling in it, everybody, loves helping everybody. And we have a great community, and we have a lot of great customers. We don't consider them customers. We consider them part of the Sinister family.
No, for sure. And at that point, I mean, you kind of have to, man. I mean, for me, I am here in San Antonio, Texas. I mean, we have events here like year round. Like every month we've got like 2 or 3 promotions doing their thing, and as a fan I'm enjoying it, I'm loving it. And I think Halloween time was basically like, or October should I say, was the busy one for everybody, like where we got like hundreds of people, just thousands maybe, but I mean during the year we still get our regulars. And yeah, I agree. I'm always look forward to going out there and checking out the vendors, hanging out with people that I've met, and just chewing the breeze. But I'm gonna backtrack a little bit, man. So are both you guys postal employees right now?
We were. I quit about 2 years ago to start the business, to brainstorm ideas and things. And Jenny was a postmaster in one of the towns close by, and we've been successful enough to where she was able to resign from that as well. We're not like making tons of money, but we're small batch, and it's about quality over quantity, and we're making enough that we can just have live our lives without having to work 90 hours a week,
Yeah,
or at least 90 hours a week for someone else.
Oh yeah. And plus, you guys don't have to spend all that money on coffee now, so you get it from
Exactly.
home.
Yeah.
Man, and the reason I was asking is because I was a postal employee 15 years, man.
Oh,
I got out.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I got out 8 years ago, and no looking back. I mean, it was brutal. I
What
was a
craft
letter
were you?
carrier. I'm sorry.
You were a carrier?
I was a letter carrier the first shoot, man, I want to say 9 years, and then I was a mail handler the rest of the time out there. And
Yeah.
I tried going back. I tried going to city collection, and like nobody was nothing close to me. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take my TSP, invest it, roll it over, and kept half of it in there just for the safekeeping. But
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah, I did the
I'm
same
good.
thing. I left for a while, and then about 6 months after I left, I came back just during the holiday season to try it out again. And it's just they expect too much, and they don't give you enough in return.
No, you see, and that's funny you say that because I tried going back like 3 years ago, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to retire. I'll go back. They were hiring for mail handlers. So I went back to the postal plant here in San Antonio. I went in there, and like everybody that was when I left was still there, and they're miserable, man. Like just the look in their face, and I was just like, man, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Everybody, as soon as they saw me, everybody was like, hey, what's up? Everybody got all cheery, but I was just like, man, that's why I left, because it was just sucking the life out of you. So
Yeah, it does. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, it's not for everybody. There's still people that I know that are in there, and more power to them. But better them than me. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, man. But of course, like I said, I mean, when it comes to coffee, I mean, is that the only business venture? Because you mentioned earlier, your wife. I mean, she was in the haunted attractions. You guys did try to do the haunted soil, which I think is pretty cool, man. I never heard about that. But any other ventures?
So right now it's with the coffee. We do have something else in the works that we're hoping will go through. Sinister Seekers, Legends of Lattes. With our ability to travel now that she's not with the post office, we've gone to several different states. Just went to West Virginia not too long ago with the Mothman Museum. We hooked up with them, and so our idea is to do a YouTube channel where we go to different towns that have some sort of myth or legend or cryptid, and have a cup of coffee in a local shop, discuss their coffee and our coffee, and interview people about the legends of the area. So far we've done Mothman. We have some footage for that we're trying to put together. We came up through Jersey, and we were going to try to do the Jersey Devil, but it was in different directions than we were going. So we just stopped at Blairstown Diner, which was the filming area for Friday the 13th. And we stopped at the diner, had some dinner there, and they're actually going to start carrying our coffee. The Mothman Museum's carrying our coffee now.
You see, and I was going to say, man, that's brilliant because once you're there, you can just plug that in and be like, hey, by the way,
yeah,
I mean, man, you guys are living my life, bro. What's going on over here? That's actually pretty damn good, man. I like that.
So there's a whole lot of there's more out there than people think. Coming through West Virginia, not only was it the Mothman, there was the Flatwoods Monster. We did some research on that. And as far as the coffee goes, we've always said you can get coffee anywhere. It's about the experience, and it's about the Sinister family. We have 35 different flavors, counting, adding more all the time, and we just really enjoy the experience of it. We want to give somebody a good cup of coffee, but we want to give them an experience as well. So when you get the coffee, it's not just you open a bag and there's coffee. We throw stuff inside, and we make it a little sinister. And we advertise ourselves and invite people into the Sinister family.
And I was going to say too, because when it comes to coffee, I was going to ask you about that. How many different flavors you guys offer? But I mean, it is at 40 plus.
Yeah. So we bring in flavors and we take away flavors. Right now we're hovering about 35. We just took our Harvest of Horrors line down. We had all of our fall flavors like the pumpkin and the apple spice and apple cider donut, but we're bringing in some of our holiday flavors, our haunted horror days, and we have some spiced eggnog, some peppermint bark, and things like that. And so part of it is every flavor has its own character, and every character has its own backstory. And so what we're trying to do is build the Sinister Realm. We're bringing all these characters together in a way that makes it Sinister Brew.
Nice.
And hopefully, in the future, I love to write, and Jenny does the art, and we'd like to do a graphic novel if at all possible.
Sweet, bro.
So we enjoy going down to just around to local areas. We were just at a place yesterday called Borders Brewery, and just out of the blue, the owner came to us. Is in Salem, New Hampshire. The owner came to us, and he starts talking about his espresso martini. And here we have a show called Phantom Gourmet, and it's all the New England states, and they go around and talk about the different foods and different restaurants, and why you should go there. And this restaurant was known for their espresso martini, and he started talking to us about how he's trying to find a new espresso company, and we happen to be a coffee company, so we just sent him 2 bags of espresso this morning. And so it's all about making connections wherever you go, and we love helping other small businesses along the way.
No, man, you see, and that's why I like, what you guys are doing, because it's networking to the fullest. Especially, I'm real big. Of course, social media, it allows things like right now, when it comes to interviews. But I miss the old person to person, like face to face. Like I love talking to people and just like, hey, man, by the way, this is what I'm doing, and it's a little bit more personal where you befriend people, they get to know you, they feel safe around you, and before you know it, it's easier for you to plug in a business, or hey, by the way, what, this is what I do, if you guys are interested. And it makes sense, man. But the fact that you guys are traveling with this, that's pretty cool, man. Is everything pretty much local, like as far as where you guys are headed?
So as far as sales go, we're all over the place. We've sent stuff to England, we've sent stuff to Scotland, Canada. We have a lot of people on the East Coast all the way down to Florida. We've picked up some people in Oregon, Washington State, California, down your way in Texas. So we're kind of all over the place. Alaska, which is the furthest away, I think, other than overseas. But we're our goal is to, after our son graduates high school, to actually pick the business up. We want to open up a brick and mortar here for our kids to run, and we want to take the business idea over to Scotland. My wife and I are both of Scottish heritage, and we want to set up shop in Scotland as well, and kind of bring it to a global, world, a global, what's the word I'm looking for? Playing field,
No, definitely, man. And that's true, because even with this podcast, I've been fortunate enough to where like it's reaching outside the country. I've interviewed people from the UK, from South Australia, from the Philippines, Mexico, Brazil. And so it's like, that's pretty much the concept that I had. I always tell people this, but for me, like I always tell my kid, like I always wanted to travel the world, and for some reason, God knew I couldn't, so He brought the world to me, man. And I meet a lot of people. I'm on top of working where I work. I'm a contract delivery driver, so I do deliver furniture, and I meet people from all walks of life, man. And it's cool because a lot of them are from Thailand, a lot of them are from Dubai. You name it. So it's like, okay, you know what, I'm not rich enough to travel the world, but everybody's here now. I get to.
Well, and it's awesome because those people actually bring some of their culture with them, and that's what we're about. We like learning new cultures. We like learning the history of new areas. Our last trip was over to Germany. We were there a couple years ago. Actually, when I was in the military, I was stationed there, and I took Jenny to where I was stationed, and people were just wonderful. You go anywhere, and they're just so welcoming, and for the most part, I'm sure there are people that don't like Americans, but we've never had a bad experience, and we love to learn about the history, especially in Europe. There's thousands of years of history compared to what we have here for a couple hundred years.
Oh yeah, man. That's what's crazy. People talk about heritage. As far as where we came from. There's a lot of culture, a lot of history, but here it just we're still new to when it comes to being a country, I guess. But let me ask you though. Earlier you had mentioned you're trying to make the coffee more than just coffee. You talked about the packaging. Every packaging has a story. Every story has its coffee, man. But for some reason, I was thinking, like, man, I wonder. Are you guys like venturing into like say get trading cards? Are you guys venturing into something?
Yeah, we're looking at things like that. we had talked about doing the trading cards. We're still trying to find someone that could do them for us. Right now, what we're offering is remember, I'm sure you remember when we were kids, the free prize inside a cereal box.
Oh yeah.
We're kind of doing that. We're doing a free prize inside with some of our coffee, and what we're doing is we're putting these little pins to have our
Oh, nice.
like logos and like just different pictures and things, and just something cool for something tangible that when the coffee's gone, you still have something.
Yes,
And we're actually expanding beyond coffee. We're doing Sinister Sweets. We just launched Sinister Sweets. We have a line of hot chocolate coming out, chocolate covered espresso beans. There's going to be multiple flavors of the hot chocolate, raspberry hot chocolate, vanilla hot chocolate, and so we kind of want to expand into the whole food and drink industry. It's going to take years, and it's just I like to cook. So we talked about having, when we have a brick and mortar, what foods we would have, what we would call it, because we're going to stick with the horror theme the whole way through.
Nice, bro. You see, and I like that, man. I mean, we have a few coffee shops here in town that I've been to and I still go to, man. But it's like, for the most part, I mean, I like them. I'm in high school. Early '90s. When I was there, we used to go to coffee shops by my friend's house, and we got hired. I mean, we were getting paid in coffee, but we didn't care. We were like, yeah, go clean up, but I liked it because it was homely, it was comfortable. You just went out to relax. A lot of students would go and do their homework there or read or whatever. But the fact that you guys are doing that and then bringing food, man, makes sense. I mean,
yeah,
I can only imagine. Let me ask you, as far as flavors, and I'm gonna ask you this because I've actually been doing this for a minute, but I put jalapeno in my coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of
So
that?
we have not heard of it, but we're open to it. So that's one of the things that we tell people also. Like probably at least 10 of our flavors were requested by customers.
Yeah.
So, and some of them become our best sellers. We have a blackberry coffee, Beware the Blackberry Beast. Our first customer, I think, recommended it to us, and it's one of the biggest sellers that we have. Jalapeno, that actually sounds like a good idea.
Bro,
and we would.
I like it. I've been doing it for a few months, and I'd heard about it before, and I was like, man. And one day I was actually eating breakfast, and I love jalapenos, so I was like, man, I'm gonna throw one in there, and I did, and I liked it, bro. I mean, it was just
So
like,
how do you throw the jalapeno in? Would you use like the pepper itself?
yeah. From what I've been doing, yes. I slice them up and I throw them in there, and it's just it gives you that strong spice, but I think the coffee kind of miles it down because it's not spicy. I'm not like burning my mouth,
Yeah.
but it makes it to where it's drinkable and I'm good,
Well, if we that's something for us to think about now, and we'll make sure you get credit for it when it comes
Yes,
through.
bro, do it, brother. There's a lady here, man. She has an ice cream shop, and I had her make me a strawberry jalapeno ice cream.
That'd be
And
good.
that was something else, man. I'm not gonna lie. I liked it. Like I said, I'm real big with jalapenos, but I'm real big with blends. When it comes to putting two things and see what comes out. But yeah, man, definitely check out that jalapeno coffee, man.
One of the things I've done here is it was a apple jalapeno jam that I've made, and the sweetness of the apple and the spiciness of the jalapeno really melded together really well.
Yes.
And so I might end up having to do something like that with the coffee.
Sweet, man. No, and especially you guys brought up the whole sweets thing, man. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Man, now I'm thinking about chocolate covered jalapeno, but I don't want to go too crazy. But yeah, man. But I was gonna post this up real quick. You got Arthur Mills out there in Houston, man. Maybe he'll be ordering up, dude. But I do have your website scrolling to the bottom, so of course those that are watching and listening or watching later, man, they can definitely plug in and check you guys out, bro.
So while we have you and while we have some of your guests on, or your listeners, we have a code, Sinister Thanks. If you go to our website and you put in an order and you type in the code Sinister Thanks, you'll get I think it's 15% discount.
Oh, nice. Okay, sweet, man. Heck yeah.
For you and your listeners.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Have you got anything from us, Spider?
No, not yet. But you know what?
We're gonna send you a package.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm definitely, because when I had seen you guys up there, I went through your blends and I was like, okay, cool, man. There's a lot of stuff that sounded great, so I was like, dude, I'm open to new flavors. So I said, man, I'll check one of them out. But yeah, man, and I'll definitely talk to you guys about something because, of course, when I messaged you guys in the beginning, I was like, you guys do custom label, or private label, should I say, right?
Private label, yeah.
Yes, dude. So yes, we'll definitely be talking, man. But let me ask you, when it comes to coffee, which one's y'all's favorite, man? Do y'all have a favorite?
Yeah, so my wife likes Sinister Jack. It's our dark roast. It was our flagship coffee. It was the first one we did. For me, as far as non-flavored, it's our Astral Abyss. It's a single-sourced Indonesian, just super smooth, low acidity. For my flavored, I want to say it's the apple cinnamon fireball. So
Oh,
it's
damn.
not just a cinnamon. It's like the hot tamales you had as a kid, or the
Yeah.
fireball jolly or jawbreakers. It's that kind of cinnamon. So I added some apple to it, and it's apple cinnamon fireball is probably my favorite.
Dude, that actually sounds damn good. Damn. Okay. I'm digging it, man. And of course, when you guys do these concoctions, man, when it comes to blending, I mean, how do you guys go about doing that?
So there are flavor oils that we use. There are a few companies that we tried to before we settled on the one that we use. We try to go all natural, like a lot of the flavors come from the plant or the bean or whatever it may be, and so we don't have a lot of preservatives or anything like that in our coffee. But it's kind of like being a mad scientist in the kitchen. Like we will come up with an idea, we'll get the flavors together. There's a certain ratio to flavor per pound of bean, and depending if you're mixing multiple flavors together, how much you use. So there's definitely some science behind it. But we've gone through pounds of coffee that just did not turn out well at all. We had a customer, is actually one of my wife's employees at the post office, asked for a bacon flavored, and the smokiness of the bacon flavor and the acidity of the dark coffee just did not go together at all. So that one was like a dud. And we have one now that it's an orange cream, blood orange cream.
Oh, nice.
That one took us probably like 3 months to perfect, and it was just pounds of coffee. We'd try it, didn't work, get rid of it, reformulate. So yeah, it's fun. We just get in the kitchen, we just kind of mix some stuff together, come up with ideas, or people give us suggestions, and we find out what works. We're getting ready to do a peanut butter and jelly flavor actually. So it's going to be like a raspberry cream and a peanut butter. We already have a peanut butter. Our our Harvest of Horrors line had a peanut butter poltergeist,
Right.
and that was a big seller. So now we're going to add the raspberry cream to it and kind of do a peanut butter jelly blend.
Dude, okay, that sounds good. Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. And that's what I'm saying, because even like now, like you talked about once you guys get a brick and mortar going, I mean, of course, having food. So my first thought was like getting pastries or getting
Yep.
snacks that people, of course, they can eat with their coffee. But yeah, man, I mean, when it comes to all these flavors, dude, like I think I had the other day, I'm not just throw this out there. One of my coworkers brought donuts, and she's like, "Hey, grab one," So first one I saw, I grabbed it. Took it to my office. I ate it later, and when I'm eating it, I had like bacon bits, and it had like all this crazy stuff in there. My mouth was going crazy, man. I was like, "Damn!" Like, okay, what the heck? I didn't even look at to see what was on it, man. I was just eating it, so that's pretty bad. But when I looked, I was like, "Man, that was actually, it's like one of those blends where you're like, okay, that makes sense. Tasted great."
Yeah, there's a place we went to in Salem, Mass. Last month, Funhouse Donuts, I think it was called, and they had like a bacon flavored donut. They had bacon bits in it. It was like a maple bacon. And
Yes,
it was really good. Yeah.
you
And
see,
so we actually have a maple flavored coffee. It's our Bigfoot's Darkwood Maple Delight.
you
It's
see.
a maple flavored coffee.
I was gonna say when you mentioned the bacon, I said, man, if it would have been like a maple bacon or something, that would have
Yep.
made sense. But yeah, man, I mean, bacon itself, I don't know. That's just kind of
Yeah, it's a delicate flavor it takes very little to get a lot of flavor.
yeah. No, for sure, man. But of course, I mean, when it comes to websites, dude, because our buddy over here, Arthur Mills, man, he just got on the website, says pretty badass, and I agree.
Thank you,
I mean,
Arthur. Thank you. That
yes,
was all Lady Gruesome over here. She put it together.
man. And let me ask you, because it seems like you guys are gonna keep expanding, man. And for some reason, I'm thinking. I mean, you mentioned the YouTube channel, being
Yep.
able to travel, do stories. But are you guys looking to get into actual, possibly get on the channel and actually describe or make coffee, or you know what I mean, like do something to where people can see you guys behind the?
Yeah. So we have been thinking about that for a while. We didn't want to take equipment with us to the roaster we were renting space from. But now that we have our roaster coming in, it's coming from overseas. It's being custom built for us. It's actually going to have our logo engraved on it and everything.
nice.
But once that comes in, we will be doing lives on social media where we can talk about the roasting process and the flavoring process and kind of bring people more into what we do. Even we didn't know when we first got into it the amount of effort that goes into making a good flavored coffee. You
No,
know,
no, I
it's
agree,
got to
man.
have the right bean. It's got to have the right type of roast. It's got to have the right temperature to absorb the flavor oils to permeate the shell of the bean. And so yeah, there's a lot that goes into it.
No, no, for sure. You see, the whole time I'm putting cream and sugar, man. I thought I was doing good, man. You guys are breaking everything down to science, man. But yeah, like I said, I mean, I grew up drinking coffee. As a kid, I drank coffee, but growing up, my mom she used to boil milk and put coffee in it.
Yeah.
Like we didn't use water, so now whenever I drink coffee, I put a lot of cream, man. And,
Yeah.
everybody's always like, "Man, you want more coffee with that cream?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm good."
I was the
You
same
know?
way. So my wife's the black coffee drinker. She just likes it straight and dark. And for me, I I like the cream. I used to do a lot of sugar. I used to do about 6 sugars per cup and cream. I got away
Oh,
from the sugar. I just do the cream now. And honestly, with the flavors that we have, one of the biggest compliments that we get is for people who don't like coffee or they use a lot of cream in their coffee to
no
taste it and
more.
say this doesn't need cream.
Yeah.
So
Now I was gonna say too, man, when it comes to flavors like that, you kind of don't want to because you're gonna get, you're not gonna get that
yeah,
flavor.
or you have a good melting flavor. One of my, I forgot about this when I mentioned the flavored coffees. One of my absolute favorites is our pistachio. So we have a Sir PS Pistachio coffee. And when we first did it, someone suggested, I was like, I don't think it's going to work well. It's one of the best coffees we've ever made. It's so good.
That's
And
pretty
luckily,
impressive.
there's a pistachio creamer that they sell around here. So I just get the pistachio creamer and I have the pistachio coffee, mix the flavors together, and it's great.
Man, and I was gonna share this because this is just one of the packagings for one of your coffees.
Yeah,
Of
that's our
course,
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, man. You guys, like you mentioned earlier, every coffee has a flavor, has a story, and this one, I mean, obviously has a Bigfoot on it, right?
Yep, he does have a backstory. He was not always a Bigfoot. He became a Bigfoot because of the haunted woods that he's in. But I could definitely share that story at another time.
Nice, nice. No, for sure, man. And I was gonna say, when it comes to coffee, because obviously you guys are traveling, there's no, you guys don't have a problem, like you said, going to other coffee shops and just trying their stuff because I
Oh
mean,
no, no. Yeah, when we were down in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, for the Mothman Museum, there's a coffee shop there. We did a live on TikTok and we promoted them. In the coffee and in the horror in this family, there's really no competition. You just help each other out. Um, I'm not going to try to take their business. They're not going to try to take mine. We
no, see
we
it,
sell online, and they might want to buy some of our coffee to
yeah,
better price. So
no, for sure.
we make friends with everybody, and we try to promote where we can other people.
No, you see, and
But
I agree because when it comes to, I go to a lot of conventions here in San Antonio or in Texas, but a lot of vendors, they tend to kind of shy away from talking to other people or, and it's networking. And I'm always like, man, like, I know both guys set up side to side and I'm like, hey, so and so. And he's like, oh, no, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, dude, you've been standing here how many hours, bro? Like, you got to socialize, man. And it's
yeah,
just, it's odd that it happens. But I mean,
so
for the
one of
most
the things
part,
for
yeah,
us is when we go into a local coffee shop, most coffee shops are not coffee roasters, so they
right.
get their beans from somebody else. So while we want a brick and mortar where we can serve our own coffee, right now we're roasters. We if we can supply a shop with flavored beans or non-flavored beans at a better cost than what they're already giving their customers. I mean, the only thing we would ask is now serving Sinister Brew Coffee. Give us credit
Nice.
for it.
No,
Uh,
for sure.
so what we're actually have you been to Trans World?
No, unfortunately,
Yeah,
no, I haven't.
we were we're going to go this year as spectators. It's a big event, and there's a lot of setup that goes to it, and it's about an 18-hour drive for us. So but any horror lover, if you guys get the opportunity, go to Trans World. It's huge, so many vendors there, and you just really kind of learn where some of these things come from for the different movies and the different haunted attractions and things like that.
Yeah, man. No, for sure. I mean, here in Texas, we've got a few that do pretty great, man. When it comes to, Houston, they have the Houston
Yeah,
Film Festival. We've got the Cult Classic out there at Bass Drop at the gas station, from the Leatherface Texas Chainsaw
yeah,
movie. But yeah, man. But I was gonna ask you because you talked about folklore. When it comes to
yeah.
a lot of these coffee stories, we have a few here in San Antonio, man. I mean, we have. I'm actually in a short film called the Legend of the Donkey Lady, which is a bridge like south of San Antonio where I live. But we've got I mean, others. The Ghost Tracks. There's been a few
Yep.
movies based on that, but and that's one of the things. Like, I mean, people do stories and interviews and do stuff out there, man. But you know, every time I'm in the area while I'm by there, I'm like, okay, I gotta snap some shots and see, you know, just
Yeah.
kind of take it in, you know, it's kind of surreal, but
So
yeah, man,
we
of course. I mean, are you guys looking to travel more? I mean, when it comes to maybe like Central U.S., maybe.
and even before we started Sinister Brew, I've wanted to come to Texas, and I'm not going to lie, I'm a foodie. I wanted to come down there. I watch a lot of cooking shows, and everything from the barbecue alone just looks
Oh
amazing.
yes, bro.
So, but we would love to come down there, you know, travel around and, you know, talk to some people. We have heard of the ghost tracks thing. We actually talked about that before. We think that would be amazing to go out there and just get some footage at night. I
Actually,
just bought a drone recently, so I could, with a 4K UHD camera, that I
yeah,
can fly over areas to try to get some good shots and stuff. So, you know, we're pretty excited. We
no,
would love to come to. That's going to be probably in the next 2 years, not anytime soon. But we're up and down the East Coast this year, and then next year we're going to start pushing forward out to the West and the Midwest.
nice, bro. No, for sure, man. You see, and that's kind of my thing. You know, I still have my dreams of winning the lottery and just traveling. You know, I was gonna
Mhm.
buy an RV and just go from convention to convention across the
Yeah.
U.S., bro. I was like, you know what? Who has to work anymore? You know, but definitely
Well,
enjoy
that's the
life.
reason why we chose Scotland. The cost of living over there is a little less, and since we do like to travel, we could go from Scotland to Italy for $50 as opposed to 2,000. You know.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so it's
Wow.
really easy to travel around over there. And next year, we're going to be hitting up Austria. They have Krampusnacht, Krampus night. I don't know if you're familiar with Krampus. I'm sure you are.
Oh, yeah.
The
Yes,
opposite
sir.
of Santa.
Yeah.
So we're going to go over there. They have parades that feature Krampus, and they go around smacking people with the sticks and stuff. And so we're really excited about that. And so while we're over there, we're going to be doing a lot of the folklore around some of the towns. I think we're going to end up in Salzburg, Austria next year during Christmas.
Nice, bro. No, yeah, I'm actually. I mean, it's not at a big scale, but event in Austin next month, Blood Over Texas, man. I'm gonna be out there, and they do a Krampus parade where they form a
Awesome.
line and they walk through the convention and
Yeah.
just. I don't think they've ever hit anybody. They've never hit me, so that's good. You know, I don't want to get whacked by the stick, bro. but
Definitely get some video or some take some pictures, send us, and you know, we'll promote it on our website with your podcast, obviously. And
no, for sure, man, and yeah, bro. But let me ask you. I mean, you mentioned the YouTube channel. So, are you guys on YouTube right now?
so we have a YouTube channel that has nothing on it.
Okay.
I've set it up, but because we're growing as quickly as we are, thankfully, we're busy. It's just the two of us, so we're always roasting and flavoring and putting orders together, and so yeah, it's taken a lot of our time. We're hoping to get our family involved, our kids. We have a 21-year-old daughter and our 15-year-old son. They're reluctant, but I think they're starting to come around. And if we can get them involved, then we can do a lot more. And you know, they could put the orders together for us while we're out doing the traveling.
No, for sure. You know, and that would help because even I've done stuff at a small scale where I used to distribute music. You know, back when vinyl was it's coming back around. You know, but
Yeah,
records and you know, but shipping them and getting orders out, man. I mean, even I mean, I'm sure you guys get them in the hundreds. I mean, for me, it wasn't that bad, but it's still a pain in the butt, dude. Post office back then, I guess they weren't so happy because here I am with like all these different packages going all over the world, man. So I'm sure they hated me, but you know, I mean, it's just you know, got to do what you got to do, man.
we go to the post office every day, and the first thing we hear is this smells so good, and then they start asking if they can have free coffee. So
No, yeah, of course. Post office, you know that, man. I always
yeah,
tell people I miss delivering off the highway. We used to have some of the radio stations, so every time I go, I'd be like, "Hey, any tickets? Oh, yeah, here you go. Here's some movie
yeah,
tickets, or here's some concert tickets." You know, and you know, I'm not gonna lie, I miss that. You know, but you know, I mean, you had your favorite customers, or not favorite, but I mean, customers that actually, you know, I used to talk to and greet, and just kind of like,
yeah,
again, they come Christmas, man, cookies and you name it, bro. I mean, we weren't
yeah.
supposed to eat them, but if
We
I
had
was
a local
hungry, I did
donut
'em.
shop. He would this time of year, everything that he had left over when he closed, he would just bring to the post office for us. So we
Oh
get
man,
like dozens upon
sweet.
dozens of like fresh donuts.
Nice, dude. Heck yeah, dude. You gotta appreciate that. You know, it's like you know, I enjoyed the time I was there. I mean, if I would have been stayed a letter carrier, I think I would have still been there. It's just me changing crafts and going to the mail handler, and you know, going back. The pay scale had changed. Everything had dropped.
Yeah,
It was just weird. So I said, you know what, I'll pack and leave. But you know,
it's necessary to have the post office, but it's not necessary for me to work at the post office.
no, exactly. There you go. I agree with that, man, because it's something else. But yeah, man. I mean, of course, when it comes to horror, I mean, we brought up that both you guys are fans. I gotta ask you, man, what's your favorite horror movie, man?
So it's hard to say. We have so many. I think we always go to The Exorcist. That's probably
Yeah.
our Omen actually is really good too.
Yeah.
Amityville, original Amityville.
Yeah, I was
Not that
gonna
I
say,
didn't like the remake. The remake with Ryan Reynolds was actually decent. I thought a lot of people disagree, but
well, I was actually gonna say which one because these low budget movies, man. There's like 100 Amityville
yeah.
horror.
So the
Amityville.
original, yeah,
Yes, yes.
Margot Kidder. Yeah, I mean it's you can't beat it. What we really like with the older stuff is the practical effects that were used.
Yeah.
There's so
Oh,
many
dude, I
horror
agree.
movies that just use CGI now. You look at American Werewolf in London, a great transformation scene,
Oh,
probably the best one ever.
yeah.
We love Poltergeist. Our daughter is actually named Carol Ann, so we named her after the Poltergeist movie. But
She
yeah,
knows
so
that, right?
to say one favorite we really don't have one favorite. It just depends on the day.
No, yeah, and that's true. I mean, depends on the mood because I mean, I have plenty. I've got like over 1,000 VHS and DVDs, and it's just like I have my go-tos. Like I have my girls like you're gonna
Yeah,
watch that again, and I'm like it's classic, man. Like
yeah,
but I'm real big with indie horror. So if it's like a horror
yeah,
comedy, Return of the Living Dead,
yeah.
Shopping Mall. I've got Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I mean, just to name a
I
few.
actually never seen Killer Clowns until probably 6 months ago.
Oh man,
Just didn't think it looked
yeah,
good, and Jenny kept saying, "You gotta see it, you gotta see it." We watched it. It's like one of the best movies. The
bro, I've been
best
watching that
B movies.
since I was a kid, and I mean here locally, I'm a moderator for a few events, so I do the Q&A panels, and so I'm able to meet some of these guests, and I've met the actors from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I met the producers, the Kyoto brothers, man. I mean, and I'm standing there talking to them, and I'm thinking like, dude, me as a kid, if I would have known I'd be doing this like 30 plus years later, man, it's surreal, but it's a treat, man. So I
When
definitely take it.
when Jenny was in Salem with haunted attractions, she actually knew Kane Hodder, who played
Oh yeah,
Jason,
yeah.
and she went to him with the premiere of Hatchet. So she got to
Oh,
sit with
nice,
Kane
dude.
Hodder, Hatchet 3. So she sat with him in the movie, and that was kind of cool.
Yeah, dude. No, I like him. I have not met yet. I know he's been at two events that I was supposed to go to, but I travel. It was I think one was in Houston and the other one was somewhere else. But yeah, I'm hopeful. I know here locally, man. Like this weekend, we're having they're having the Warriors 45 year anniversary reunion. So I'm gonna be hanging out with the Warriors.
That's
Yeah,
we quote
dude.
that movie all the time. Come out and
Yeah,
play.
no bottles, cheap, cheap. But dude,
Um, yeah, is back to horror though. Came I mean not Tony Todd.
yeah,
That's such a sad. He was one of our not only just horror but favorite actors. He's done a couple things like there's a movie. I don't think it got a lot of um, views, but it's called The Man from Earth, and
yeah.
Tony Todd was in it.
I
And
know
he
what it is.
yeah, it's a good movie. I liked it. And
Oh yeah,
Tony
man.
Todd was in it. I thought he did a great job. And Candyman, obviously, I remember being a kid, and I have a twin sister, and she and I went to see Candyman together, and I didn't sleep for like 3 nights.
Yeah, yeah. Don't say it. Just don't
Yeah,
do it, man. No, yeah, bro. That's one of the things me and my buddy, man, the other day we were talking about, and we're like, man, like all these, but it's like for me, like I watched these movies so much that when I see these guests in person, and I'm like, man, they're gotten older. We kind of
yeah,
forget about that. Maybe we
yeah.
forget we're getting older. We're getting older. And it's just,
You can
you
shut your
know,
mouth. I'm not getting older. I'm getting
yeah.
better.
There you go. There you go. I'm just getting coffee. That's all I'm doing. But yeah, man. But it's just, I mean, I've met so many great people, so many guests, so many. I mean, you name it, and it's just, it's pretty cool that I get to talk and just kind of hang out and be like, hey, so what's going on? What you got going on? And the fact that a lot of them are still in movies or making movies, being
Yeah.
directed producers, man, that's actually pretty cool too, man. They stuck around.
Yeah, we've actually been getting into YouTube. There's a channel for it. I can't remember what it was, but YouTube has a lot of them. The horror shorts, usually like 15 minutes or so. And
Bro.
sit in bed at night. We have our 70-inch TV at the end of the bed and watch 2 or 3 of those, and then have nightmares. I personally like nightmares. It makes me feel like I'm in a horror movie.
Yeah.
So
No, yeah. You see, and I'm on my YouTube channel, man. I'll throw it out there, but I do a lot of movie trailer reviews.
yeah,
Like I don't review the movies. I review a lot of shorts, and I always tell people it's just I don't feel like I'm um I'm somewhere up there where I should be reviewing full movies. For the trailers, I'm like, hey man, I like this. This is what I like. This is the producer. These are the actors. This is where they're from, and I just kind of throw it out there. But it's just whether or not I like it after I see it. That's another thing. But I still watch it. I still support indie film. I'm jumping in
Yeah.
indie films now, so I'm sure somebody's gonna watch something I've done or I've been in, and they're gonna be like, man, that sucked. But
We about 3 or 4 months ago, we sponsored a movie being made. It's called Devour. It's a band of an actual rock band, female rock band that are vampires, and they end up somewhere playing a club, and they have to fight werewolves or I didn't I can't remember. It was someone, but they actually we reached out to them and we supplied them with all their coffee for their shoot, and that was pretty cool. Again, because we're so busy, I don't take the time to read the stuff that I'm supposed to. But the movie's called Devour. It looks like it's going to be pretty good. But yeah,
there's a movie by that name, but I don't think it's the one I'm thinking about because I don't remember vampires and werewolves. That's a classic right there, man. A classic battle.
Yeah.
On that note, man, what are you, vampires or werewolves, bro?
Oh man, so actually we have this discussion all the time. If we had the opportunity, if we had to choose one, I love the werewolf. I love the power behind it and just the raw, anger.
Animalistic.
But you don't remember anything when you're done. You go back, you transform. You can't do it on command. So I think you'd have to go vampire, right?
Oh, okay. I can see that. I'd probably still go with werewolf, but yeah, man, it's kind of be like the Incredible Hulk. You go green and you come back, you're like, hey, where's my shirt?
Exactly.
What's where, dude? I didn't even think about that, man. Now you got me thinking. Damn, I'm gonna have to work on my answer for the next one. But yeah, man. But of course, when it comes to movies, I mean, that's pretty cool that you guys were able to I guess supply sponsor,
Yeah, I mean, we try to do that when we can. We feel that we've gotten lucky enough to do what we enjoy. That we give what we can where we can.
Yeah.
Sinister is the name, but we want to help out. Actually, we just did a charity down your way, Brawls for a Cause. I don't know if you've heard of it. Yeah, and a bunch of firemen got together, and it's for breast cancer. And we sent a few boxes down for them to auction off as prizes.
Oh, nice.
And went pretty well, yeah.
Damn. No, and of course, I mean, it's like I've had a few businesses myself. I still cover the combat sports. When it comes to boxing, kickboxing, MMA, and all that great stuff, man. But I've had shirt brands that I've created, and I've had other things. But it's like the minute you open something, like people are like, "Oh, this guy's got money," and I'm like, "Dude, far from that." We're spending money on advertising, on traveling, on and there's money there, but it's like you kind of have to like nitpick where it's going because, of course, you don't want to have supplies and be able to keep doing this.
For me, on my side, it's my family. I grew up in West Virginia. They see the travel, and they see that I have a business, but all the traveling that I'm doing is part of the business. We collaborate with people and we give, but not everything is free.
No, for sure, man. Yeah, dude. I mean, I completely understand. It's just one of those things that people that don't have a business or haven't started one won't know, until they do.
Exactly, yeah.
But
if it's a charity that we feel good about, and anything that we can help to brighten somebody's day, like I said, Sinister is the name, but we just want to be a good in the world. We want to help people. Bring good coffee, bring a story.
And I don't think, I mean, because the name, of course, and I mean, even more so now, I guess, because when it comes to horror, I mean, like little kids are watching it. I mean, I was a kid watching it, but it's not like a bad thing unless it's like really bad. It's like one of those movies nobody should watch. But other than that, I mean, I don't think people see horror the way they used to. It's like now a little bit more open. It's like they see Sinister and they're probably like, dude, that's cool. I think it's cool. Heck yeah.
And like I said, we're expanding. We just did Sinister Sweets with the hot chocolate. I just got a phone call today. We're looking for a tea supplier, so we're going to expand it to teas as well.
Oh, damn. Wow, man.
Maybe down the future, like a Sinister cider, a little hard cider or something. But that's down the road, But, the way I look at it is, and this is just my, military side, if you're not expanding, you're dying.
Yeah,
So, there's so many people out there that don't drink coffee, but they drink tea or they drink hot chocolate, So, and it's not about the money. It's just about getting a good product into people's hands. At a
No, and I
reasonable
was gonna say too, man, because we had a neat promotion here that, I mean, there's a local brewery, so they did like a little where they make their own can, had their own brew, and
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, whatever batch they had, I mean, they sold out, so I'm sure they were happy. But even if you guys are getting into that, that'd be pretty cool to slap your label on something, and put it out there, man.
Yeah, we're trying. We're trying.
And of course, I mean, what's next? What are you guys hitting up this coming year? I know you mentioned the Trans World, but is anything local as far as events?
No, nothing that's set in stone.
No,
I mean, we go down to Salem when we can. We've got a few contacts down there, Salem, Mass, just because the horror is year round there. So we have a few contacts there. We're heading down to Virginia in the spring, around the DC area. There's a lot of stuff happening between Virginia and DC and Maryland that we're going to look into.
nice.
But nothing is set in stone. We have to wait to see what the weather brings, and but the one definite that we know for sure, as this time next year we will be in Austria.
Nice, bro. That's actually pretty amazing, dude. I mean, I would love to be able to, just get up. I mean, not get up and travel, but I mean, get those opportunities, and
Yeah.
who knows where you're gonna end up, but that's pretty cool. Real quick, man, what was that code for everybody that's watching, bro? Because I'm actually live I've got some on YouTube and Instagram right now.
Sinister Thanks, all one word.
Got it, brother. That way I can go ahead and they can hear, listen, and
Yeah.
order
Let
up.
them know too. Like if there are customers out there that don't see a flavor that they, think they might like, if they have an idea for a flavor, just send us an email. We're always open to ideas. We're just, like I said, it's just my wife and I. We're down to earth. We have people talk to us every day about things, and we're more than willing to answer any questions or take into consideration any flavor ideas that someone might have.
No, for sure, man. Well, I can't wait for that jalapeno coffee, bro. So definitely waiting on
I'm
that.
looking into it right now.
But dude, and I don't know. I think they said it was in Europe or England or I don't know, somewhere. But they were like, yeah, they do that. And when I did it, I was like, man, let me try it, and I liked it. Like I said,
The Border Brewery that we went to yesterday, I mentioned before, his espresso martini is actually topped with Parmesan cheese. And you wouldn't think that would work, but it brings like the saltiness of the cheese, and it's like a creaminess, but you don't really taste the cheese. And so you have a little acidity from the alcohol and the coffee, but then you have the creaminess of the parm. I didn't think it was going to work, but it worked.
I can totally see that though. I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm a big fan when it comes to like. I think it's me as a kid just putting stuff together and like, man, I'm gonna eat. I'm hungry, so I just used to put stuff in between breads and let's go. But yeah, man, having blends and seeing what works, because like you said, there is a chemical reaction that happens. I mean, when you guys make stuff, when you guys get the coffee beans, I mean everything. So that's pretty cool, man. The fact that you guys and like you said, you like to cook, man. So of course, I'm sure you've done plenty that works and doesn't work. So of course, the experience is there.
Well, that's what it is. There's no such thing as a failure. It's just a learning experience. If something doesn't work for us, we just know not to do that next time.
Yeah, definitely, brother. But man, I appreciate you guys jumping on here, and of course, I know the better half is out there, doing all the hard work while you're here talking. So I appreciate her and yourself. But looking forward to it, man. I mean, I definitely want to keep. I definitely want to keep talking and see what we can work out. Like I said, dude. But man, anything else you want to say? Anything you want to add before you wrap this up, bro?
No, just everyone check out our website. If you do decide to order, great. We will make it an experience for you. We certainly appreciate every single person. Even if you don't order, if you just give us some feedback, we really enjoy it. And we want to thank you, Spider, for having us on. Such a great experience. This is new to us, like having an interview or just a discussion. So it's nice to be out there and to let people know what we can offer. And if anybody has any questions, just go to sinisterbrewcoffee@gmail.com. Send us a message, and we'll get back to you within 24 hours. And we look forward to supplying the world with better coffee.
There you go, man. And of course, I mean, you guys are on Instagram and Facebook. Anything else? TikTok?
Yes. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, Facebook, and Threads.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely look you up on the other two, but I know I have you guys on FB and Instagram. But my man, Mr. Sinister, thank you, sir. James, man. We'll be talking soon. Don't hang up yet. Everybody out there, of course, once again, this is Spider Coming Soon Podcast. Till next time.